Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about Clearomizers and what it was yesterday and what it is today. Yesterday, by meaning the past, you used to have Clearomizers that look like this, where it take the bottom coil. This is a Kanger Pro Tank, and yeah, well, for you vapors that graduated from this, or for those that are new and go to a vape shop where they try to sell you one of these all the time or make a comparison with this and the ones that have the Sika um, rope type of nylon sticking out, um, those are pretty good. I mean, you're trying to quit traditional cigarettes, so you got to start somehow, somewhere. Well, this video is going to show you to bypass all that, and I know that there might be a little controversy with that because for you to be an experienced vapor, they say that you need to go through those steps. Now, I tried those steps, and I think I lasted no more than about 3 months. But within those 3 months, I was cheating and still smoking traditional cigarettes. So by me going to a 3 ohm coil, I graduated down to probably a 1.5, where you get the Aspire, the same people that make the Nautilus, uh, something like this, which was a pen, and this had also a bottom coil on it, but this was probably 1.5 ohms, a little bit more better. Um, of course, those 3 months were gone and done, and I decided to try some other method. So of course I decided to do the RTAs, which was the RTA tanks, and at that time, one of the most hottest commodity out there or item was, of course, the K Fun. Now the K Fun, the reason why they made a name of themselves was because K Fun was designed for a one deck coil. With that being said, what made the K Fun so famous was because of flavor. And the reason why I had so much flavor and they were so successful of doing that was because of their chimney. Of course, the builds that you do put on the K Fun is no anything lower than a point 0.5. So a lot of people were playing around with it. I always used to do a point 0.5 on my K Funs. And long and behold came the Fogger. And when the Fogger did come out, I was very impressed with the Fogger. Um, but then, all of a sudden, the Atlantis tank comes out. Now, when the Atlantis tank come out, one of the things that I look at after I purchased the Atlantis and I wasn't too intrigued, um, one thing that I do look at before I buy a Clearomizer tank, especially a sub-ohm at that, is airflow. For me to see an airflow that small and only one, to me it was a little bit more restricted. It was holding me back. But this is pretty good for some devices, especially devices from 30 to 50 watts. So it wasn't bad. I don't use these on hybrids or mechanical mods for the simple reason that it requires wattage. And if you come and think about it, a 186 battery at 30 amps at a mech mod could be equivalent to probably 70 watts at a fully charged. And as you pulse or as you inject or fire it up, it you know decreases, and it'll start going probably from either 70 to 60 to 50 to 40 to 30 and so on, and so the battery is basically drained, and you will have to recharge it. So the sub ohm tanks required for you to use them at various wattages devices like the IVPs and the DNAs and stuff like that. So one thing that I started looking at in Clearomizers was the airflow restrictions. So if I saw that it had a dual airflow, um, besides the Kanger, the Joytech Delta was a lot of airflow. Was really good because you could rebuild on it as well. But it wasn't my cup of tea. I was looking for something that had a lot of juice capacity as well, something like a 5 mil. So I started going and I looked around and I found the Arctic. And the Arctic was a very good, very impressive. I very digged it. As a matter of fact, I do have one. I'll take out this K Fun that I have here, which the K Fun is still good. I still use it from time to time because you put juice in there, and it just lasts forever, especially on a point 0.5 build. But here's my Arctic on IVP, and the privilege that this Arctic does is that it comes with two different coils. It comes with a point 0.5 and also a point 0.2 turbine. Now, what's the turbine for? I still don't get that. But the Arctic is a very, very good Clearomizer. I vape it at 64 watts. Not bad. But I'm looking for something more. And I think that because these coils on these Clearomizers are wrapped around the cotton, is around wrapped around the coil. It's not basically like an RTA where the cotton goes through the coil. This is more rapidly. The reason why these perform so well is because of that. So it minimizes the flavor coming from these Clearomizers. So you're looking for flavor, and that's where all the competitive comes from. That's where the high voltage, the Hercules, and now the Matrix that is made by the same people that make the high voltage, same company. By the way, I do have the Matrix, which is really good. And that's the option that it gives you. It gives you two different coils, a 6 and a 2 ohms. And that's the one that I'm using on this one here, which is really, really good. So I'm getting the vapor production that I want, and I'm also getting the flavor that I'm looking for. Now, how do I know when the coils are bad? Now, that's a question that everybody wants to, looking for the answer for that. And one of the ways that I realize when I need to change my coils is when I smell it, and I smell that it's kind of burnt, because these wires are pretty hard to burn out because they're so thick. I believe they're 24 gauge wires, so they're not just gonna pop by themselves like a 32 gauge wires from back the way back when they're Clearomizers. So they just basically need rewicking. Either you can rebuild them or you just replace them. So that's why it gives you that restricted. You can't taste that flavor from your juice the way you would taste it on RTA or you know on a dripper. When I go chasing or when I go looking for a juice, I bring a dripper. And that's where I get the enhancement of the e-juice. That's where I figure my flavors out, because a dripper is totally different. A dripper is more of a raw hit. Okay, you're gonna drip to the coil, and the coil saturates the cotton. Therefore, the vape production comes shooting up, especially with all these drip tips like the Chup Nugs and all these Y boards that are in the market today. That's one of the reasons why drippers are so amazing and so cool. But Clearomizers is an advantage of you don't have to drip because there's a tank on it. So as long as I find a tank that holds 5 mils of e-juice, I found the Matrix to suit my needs in that particular area. So that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. So the Matrix, highly recommended. Now, RTAs, you got to know how to really build them. They have the ones that have a single, like the Limo and stuff like that. They have a 2-channel canal where you will basically put your cotton through your coil, and then you will land those two ends into those canals. So basically, the juice is coming from the bottom, saturating the cotton to go through the coils, and that's the way RTAs work. Now, some RTAs that are single are very, very well crafted, just like the K-Fun and just like the Limo. But I find that the Orchid and the Billow, which the Billow V2 is pretty good, and the Fogger, the new one that just came out, which is a V6, blast from the past with some pretty good improvements that should have been done way back when. I think they would have had better results, and now people just forgot about the Fogger V6. The Fogger V6 is the one that I just showed you a little while ago, which it is amazing. Just all that airflow. Not bad. So I don't forget about the RTAs, and I still like them, and they're still in my favorite category. That's why I'm a tank guy, and I specialize a lot in tanks. So yeah, and the Arctic is not bad as well. If you have an Arctic, Better things are going to be coming. Probably some coils will be upgraded and they'll be just fine. Um, the fogger, the old style one, I have it down packed to a science where it just vapes very well. It gives me the taste and the flavor that I'm looking for. This is my everyday vape. It's a convenient vape. It's nice and light, not too hot. Um, Not so much in the warm side. It's a point 0.4 coil build that I have in here. So I have this on a zero mod, which is a little bit stealthy, a little bit more convenient than to go ahead and cloud chase it in public, where the vaping people are not accepting the vaping. A lot of people, there's a lot of controversy about, in vaping in general. It's just, look what's going on with legislators in Texas. So yeah, this is a dripper. I find that a dripper long enough substitutes like a chimney. So the longer the better, for the simple fact that the vapor is going to produce and is going to hold on to this chamber. And then I customized it by using a hurricane drip tip. If you notice, the drip tip in there is pretty small, but the board is humongously. So yeah, I still get the flavor, I still get the vapor production. That's why I do love drippers. So you gotta look for which dripper is suitable for your needs. So I'm rocking this one with a copper cherry bomber, sturdy device, very heavy. These people are made by MCV. Very good box. It do has its little cons. I'm not gonna get into that. There'll be a review on those shortly. But that's the difference between all three of them when it comes to Clearomizers, RTAs, and RBAs. So, or RDAs, sorry. So, there you have it. I took a pretty long time. This is a very long video. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, supporting, subscribing. Good cause. I've been cigarette free for since 2010, and it's been going well for me. Vaping is part of my life, and I'm really happy that I found this not so much of a hobby, because it is a hobby. It plays a role in your life. But it keeps me busy. I have enough mods and enough reviews to go ahead and entertain and give my tips, my helpful tips that work for me, and I just pass them on to you. Like I said, I'm just an average Joe. If you look for me at Facebook, my name is Jose Luis Irizarry. I know we're butchering that last name, but it's from Spain. So I'm basically Puerto Rican. So very simple. Facebook me, Jose Luis Irizarry. Irizarry. I might just drop a link in the description on that. All the products that I did review or just gave a tip of, I won't put the link on there of where I got these items. These items will be getting reviewed individually, and I'll give the link from there. So, with that being said, you guys have a great night. Tank life for life. Drip on, drippers.